Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. So I've got a pop quiz for you.
Okay.
And this is a real tough one here. If you took all 31 teams, if they were looking for a general manager, every other team, would Brian Stark get an interview?
No.
Yeah, out of 31 teams.
Nope.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the GM in just a little bit. I think it's turned into it's already turning into a shit show.
Yeah.
And but I want to first mention the game that's going on between the Colts and the Bills. If I was to preview this game, I would have talked about the Colts offensive line. I wanted their coach to come to Denver. Of course, that didn't happen. I think he's a market step up for Munchak.
Alex Gibbs?
No, the Colts.
Oh, okay.
Offensive line.
Okay.
And he's a legend, but and you can see it. You can see for the most part, the Bills did hold him on a goal line deal, but for most of this game, the Indianapolis Colts offensive line is pushing a very good Bills defensive line around. And I would imagine that Bronco fans are like, how come the Bills aren't killing this team? Well, Bronco fans, you have a bad team. Okay, you got to understand your team is bad. It's not because of you're not one quarterback away. So Deshaun Watson, all this talk, okay, just knock it off. Okay, you have a bad team. You've got to make this a better team. The offensive, I mean, if I show footage of the Colts offensive line versus the Broncos playing the Bills, it'll be night and day. They're in two separate universes, okay? The linebacking for the Bills, and you look at our linebacking, the Bills can get off their blocks. They don't get entangled in engaging offensive linemen unnecessarily, okay? There's a huge, huge gap between Bills linebackers and Broncos linebackers. You have a lot of work to do to rebuild a football team, to get this. Josie Jewell isn't going to cut it for you. You're never going anywhere with that. Okay, you'll never make the playoffs. Okay, get over it. You know, getting a quarterback isn't going to get you to the promised land until you get this team built. Okay, that's really what I wanted to say starting off. And now we have a shit show going on with I sent you links where I showed you that. I mean, even Detroit, they've had more personnel come in and be interviewed. Jacksonville and the Broncos are on the lower end of interviews. Gee, I wonder why, you know? And then what I found, I gave you also links where we have the national media with Peter King and Ian Rappaport turning this into a complete clown show. Ian Rappaport saying, oh, no, there's going to be no interference. No, what? Now, Peter King won't go out on a limb like that, but he's saying, oh, but John Elway interference is good interference. So what's your take on all this crap going on?
Yeah, can I first talk about the Colts and Buffalo Bills? And
yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So when I hear sports talk radio, and sometimes the feel-good fans, when it comes to Garrett Bowles, I you know what, I have to give credit where credit is due. And now I know that a lot of people will be like, well, you hate Garrett Bowles. It's not that I hate Garrett Bowles. It's that we have had to put so much resource towards that one player for John Elway to be tickled pink and prove like people like us wrong, that you have disregarded the four other players on the offensive line.
The rest of the offensive line.
Yes. That's where I have a problem with it. Now, I think Garrett Bowles, with the help of Mike Munchak, has turned this around. I like how he called out.
Wait a minute. Time out. With the help of Mike Munchak and the NFL for not calling.
Yes.
Holding.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't bring that up. But Garrett Bowles called out Juwan James. I don't know if you heard that, but
oh yeah.
I think that Garrett Bowles, I think that this whole team in the front office is sick and tired of Juwan James. But I think there's one person in that building that still has feelings for Juwan James, and that's the man that
That's not supposed to have final say, right? Who's not supposed to have final say?
Yes, and that's John Elway. Now, when I watch the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts offensive line, it's night and day from our offensive line. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It is absolutely in a whole nother universe compared to our offensive line. I mean, you have the Indianapolis Colts, and they did it right. They went after solid offensive linemen. Okay.
They did.
I was a big proponent. I was a big fan of Quentin Nelson. I wouldn't mind picking him over Bradley Chubb. I like Bradley Chubb as a player, but you have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Who will help you for the long term? Will it be Bradley Chubb or Quentin Nelson?
Quentin Nelson.
Exactly. I think that I'm not saying that Bradley Chubb isn't a terrible player. So Bradley Chubb, if you watch this, I mean, no disrespect, but Quentin Nelson is a game changer for your offensive line. He is a game changer. They also have a center named Ryan Kelly, who is an absolute stud. And they have a right tackle named Brandon Smith, who they drafted in the second and third round, who's turned out to be a stud.
They have a no bullshit offensive line coach who's been around
line too.
They just built the standing offensive line that the Patriots continue to build off of. Okay,
absolutely.
The guy's a legend. I wanted him to come here. I was a lone voice, of course, as quarterback, right?
Yes.
I'm a lone voice saying, can we at least build a team around a quarterback? And like Kansas City, could we have just not drafted all this Tim Tebow talk? And again, that was a mistake pickup from the beginning because you're not running an offense that features a guy like him. I'm not even getting into Tim Tebow being bad or good or whatever. I'm saying if you don't have an offense, and then Josh McDaniels is to blame. If you don't have an offensive system, I mean, they brought him into the Patriots. He is not in that. Just stupidity just seems to reign.
I think that this was a perfect example out, and people like to give credit to Elway for getting all these free agents and draft picks, which is blows my mind. It just blows my absolute mind that it just wants me to freaking just punch a wall because it's absolutely ridiculous. But going back to the point at hand, there is no way. And I mean absolutely no way. If you go watch the Bills and Broncos game, there is one specific play that will define this whole offensive line. That's one guy pushing two guys back.
Oh, yes.
On the film, you brought it up. I went back and watched the Bills game, okay? Because I wanted to take a look.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a look at how atrocious this offensive line really is.
I have all the footage. I have still all the footage from the Bills game. We're gonna break that down during this season. Yes.
Yes. And when it comes to the linebacking, now segueing into the linebacking. Okay. Do I even have to talk about that? I mean, this isn't even a discussion. Alexander Johnson and Josie Jewell do not compare to Darius Leonard. They don't compare to Tremaine Edmonds or whoever his name is, AJ Klein, et cetera, Matt Molino, whatever his name is.
Did you see that play of the linebacker for the Colts just take one-on-one?
Darius Leonard? Yeah.
Josh Allen took him one-on-one and nailed him to the ground. In any universe, do you see Josie Jewell doing that?
No, because they're like this.
Yes, and I don't even see Alexander Johnson doing that.
And stop comparing Alexander Johnson to Al Wilson, please. Stop.
You live in the bubble. You live in the bubble when you do that. You cannot get your mind out because sports talk radio probably put that in your little head.
Just because he went to the same school as Al Wilson doesn't mean he has the athletic and same ability as freaking Al Wilson. Al Wilson is in a class of his own when it comes to Bronco linebackers. We haven't had a true linebackers like that since Danny Trevathan, and look how sorely he's been missed since he's been gone.
Well, the Rockies the Rockies baseball team. They had a first baseman that went to school as a quarterback with Peyton Manning, but he's playing baseball.
Exactly. So stop comparing these.
Yeah, he went to school. They both played quarterback.
It blows my mind. Can we talk about this too? The safeties for both of those teams are better than the safeties that we have in Denver.
Well, and Simmons didn't even make anywhere close to the
I'm not even shocked. Because I've been telling people, I've been the lone voice out there that is saying that Justin Simmons isn't a top 5 safety.
He's not a top 5, no.
And I keep getting heat for it because I'm right. I mean,
Well,
if you go back and watch the film.
I'm even worse than you because I don't even think Fitzpatrick is a top 5. In reality, he's no Polamalu.
No.
He isn't. He's no Polamalu.
No.
He's no Atwater. He's no
Ed Reed.
He's no Ed Reed. So I think a lot of these safeties, it's a lot more. I mean, look at the Steelers front.
Yes.
They would really I'll tell you what, they would make Simmons look a lot better. Even Simmons look a lot better.
Absolutely.
And that's my contention is, can we get that defensive line that is feared and is coming after you, like what we saw with Tampa Bay, for instance. It's like a turnstile, coming in at you.
Yes.
Can you want to talk to Deshaun Watson? Can't we just get it right from the lines out? Then you can put a quarterback in.
I'm on the same page as you. Why can't we go back to what Pat Bolin's main objective was when he was an owner? He knew how to build an NFL team. It just blows my mind. You have certain GMs out there, like the Colts GM, like the Bills GM. They don't make any sexy moves. They make football moves.
Football moves, yeah.
Football moves. Football 101 moves on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
This isn't rocket science. You guys want to go after Deshaun Watson, he wouldn't even come here. I'm just going to let you know that right now. So Feel Good fans, get out of your bubble on that in SDR.
Let's just entertain it. Let's entertain it.
Okay,
let's entertain this. So you're going to
first rounders?
Yeah, you're going to go get Deshaun Watson. So you didn't draft him. So guess what? Now you're going to have to fight the shit on that contract.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to have to give up pieces that you could start surrounding a quarterback with for God knows how long. If I was Deshaun Watson, I wouldn't want to come to this team.
Oh,
There's other teams out there. Hell, who knows? Maybe if he was to leave, maybe the Colts. If Phillip Rivers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Phillip Rivers is about it. That would be a great place for although I think the Colts are a little undermatched in receivership with the Bills.
What about the 49ers or something like that?
We got Garoppolo, right? We got that.
Yeah, but I don't think they're high on him as many people think they are. I'm not a big Garoppolo guy. I think he's a good player, but I just don't think he's that type of quarterback that you need to take you over the top if you have the team already in place. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just think that what needs to be done is, and I want to see, this is what I want to see with this whole GM thing. Are we going to just see the continuation of the shit show? The clown show, that John Elway is doing, because I don't believe, I believe it's such a fake. It's such a fake that Elway isn't going to be still meddling. I think it's beyond a fake, because when all they do is say, we promise, when they have to sit there and spend so much time, spending so much resource to try to brainwash everybody that John Elway's not going to meddle, he's going to meddle. I mean, anybody with a brain in their head should see that.
What was I one of the first people that everybody? Oh, gee, wasn't I one of the first people this past week saying that John Elway's still going to meddle? He's just going to be in the top position. I think me and you were the first people to bring that up. I mean, you have 6 candidates, and that's all they get, and you have the Detroit Lions and all these other places that are getting more interviews than us.
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
That should tell you. No, nobody will say this. This is the only place it'll be spoken. It'll be spoken. We'll get whatever sloppy seconds, whatever. I'm still thinking what they want to do is bring in Kelly.
Yes.
And but Kelly's getting offers too.
Yeah, George Paton. I don't want George Paton. Like, come on. Like, we can't go after, like, the guy that you went after.
Well,
And the
yeah,
whole room.
I don't think he's entertaining.
Exactly. I think Adam Peters. Adam Peters was a front runner. I think he just declined the interview. I don't think he wants anything to do.
I think he may be a front runner in Carolina.
Oh, could you imagine if he goes to Carolina?
They've already gone through the interview process with him.
Exactly, and you have the Stark guy. Like, really? Like, I understand.
Matt Russell, come on. Oh, come on.
He's just a Matt Russell 2.0, and he's gonna be John Elway, absolutely John Elway. John Elway should go. Yes, John Elway. It's just same with Champ Kelly. I have no faith whoever the GM is, because you're gonna see moves this offseason, and I'm gonna warn people here before we start getting in the offseason, and I'm gonna bring this up. You're gonna see a lot of moves this offseason where we are going to overpay for veterans. It's going to be ridiculous, okay? I've been looking at the free agent tracker. I don't want to get too far ahead, but there's much better players that are not cost dependent that we can get, okay?
Let's not go that route. See, you gave me an interview with that was really an interesting interview that you sent me a link to, with a former Bronco spilling the beans about what it's like at Dove Valley.
Well,
I'll leave a link for that. And you can hit, everybody comes in there with dread because the guy that got rid of all the good players and the players he did decide to keep, he hates them all. I wonder who that guy, Elway, yeah.
What me and you've been saying.
Yeah, there's a culture. Now, I want to talk about sports talk radio and that total BS. Well, this goes back to the link you sent. The guy said I was part of sports talk radio or on these platforms, and they told me I had to say this and I couldn't say that, and I said, I'm out. Okay, this is why I started the channel, so we can not bullshit around here. Tell it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so what sports talk radio was doing, putting on John Elway, there's no way he'll ever meddle. Oh, no. He'll never meddle. I wanted to get back into that link you sent me with the fact that, he was talking about Matt Russell. Elway was, they were laughing about it and probably thought, well, if I hire you as the GM, then everybody will jump shit. But sports talk radio, they had a guy, they were reading text. They never let you call in, very rarely. Because what did you say? Click?
Yep.
The guy said, we're 5-11, and I don't want us to have a culture like this in the future. I'm like, you idiot fan, you have that culture right now. You're in the middle of an 11-5 culture. You are living it right now. It's not down the road. You have been living it. You are that culture. I think that's what it is. I just think that people listen to the sports talk radio garbage, and they don't realize how bad the team really is.
I think that what people also, I think that they're mind tricked. I want to say mind fucked, but I don't want to say any cuss words because there might be.
Well, I'm gonna title this that it is the GM is a shit show. So whatever.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, going back to STR and the fans getting, what I keep hearing is 10-6 in the playoffs. What? I mean, you should be.
Didn't they say that
this is where I have a problem with it.
Wait a second. Did they not say that for this season as well?
Yeah, but they're saying it now. But this is what I have a problem with it.
Okay.
This is what I have a problem with, and I'll let you go.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. But Bronco fans, are you content with 10-6? What the fuck? I mean, jeez. Oh my God, it's okay to be 10-6 and lose in the first round. That's not what Pat Bowlen put the standard in Denver. His standard was 16-0 or the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're not some. It means we fluked into a 10-6. They don't want to say that part of it. You know, we fluked our way into a 10-6. We want to feel good. We're feel good fans, right? Feel good fans. Want to feel good. Pat me on the back. Out in the first round, one and done. Out in the first round because you don't have the player personnel. They do not have the player personnel to go with any of these playoff teams.
And even if they do have the players,
okay, maybe Washington.
Yeah. Even if you do have the player personnel, they're still going to screw them over. I mean, this is what we have to talk about here. I think this is a good subject that we have to talk about right now. Even if you do have enough draft picks and enough cap room, Elway ain't going to get it right because he's a meddling shit.
Elway. Yeah, forget this GM, Elway.
Yeah. Elway's going to be the GM still.
If you can't wrap that through your head. Go. I want this. If this is a real for real GM deal, these scouts, we don't need to promote them. They need to go.
What? Okay. Piggybacking off of what you're saying, that new GM that's coming in, he's still going to keep all those scouts that.
No, Elway. Elway's going to keep those scouts.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Elway's going to keep those scouts, and you're going to have the likes of STR, a.k.a. the truth teller Cecil Lamey, saying that this is the freaking best scouting department in the league. What?
Of course, because they're being paid to say that. This has all come out. And I'm going to leave the link. Somebody actually had the guts and the balls to say, I wasn't going to participate in that. They have to get rid of all the scouts. You're never going to get rid of the culture.
Until an owner.
You're not going to bring, where I disagree with the guy is if you're bringing in free agents, don't go for these top dollar ones like Jawan James. You go for the up and coming players. The players that are going to make an impact.
Man, this is man. It really frustrates me that every week it's a new article coming out in the national media or the Dove Valley. It's about how, oh God, Elway ain't gonna medal. It's just not gonna happen. Yet, I sent you links.
Or what they say is he is gonna medal, but you want him to medal. He's Elway. You want him to medal.
I mean, we were the first people to bring it up that when Elway was gonna be the Ozzie Newsome. And don't even get me started. Stop comparing John Elway to Ozzie Newsome, please.
Well, who's doing that?
STR.
Well, because they're paid to do that.
Exactly. How the hell is John Elway and Ozzie Newsome in the same stratosphere? No,
they're not. They're not.
They're not. Okay. Ozzie Newsome knew how to build an offense and defensive line. Elway can't even do that right.
No. It's just STR garbage.
Why do you think Lamar Jackson has so much success? This is just a side note. Lamar Jackson has so much success because he has an offensive line in front of him. And who built that offensive line? Ozzie Newsome before he left. And they have a really damn good defensive line. Guess who went over there in free agency? Derek Wolfe. He decided to go to a much better team because he knew he would have the capability of having a good year.
Let me ask you. Do you think Derek Wolfe is on the phone to Von Miller?
No.
No? You don't think he's on the phone to any Broncos saying, life's a lot better here?
I think that Derek Wolfe doesn't want to
wherever here is, I'm saying.
Exactly. I see where you're coming from. I just think that Derek Wolfe was he's like, thank God I'm out of there. I don't want to talk to anybody over there. That I'm having so much success in Baltimore. And I'm not saying that as a player. I'm saying that as a culture and as a team. They have much better success in Denver. So when it comes to that, I can agree to disagree with that point because Von Miller, I brought it up this week.
I never got a chance to see the Von Miller flap.
I don't know if it's true or not, but it's something on with him and his girlfriend that got leaked out to social media. I think Von Miller, he's gone. Can we just dethrone him as a Bronco, please? He's done. He's just done. Okay, he's gonna leave.
Yes.
He's going to leave.
Yes.
So, STR and Feel Good fans, I know that you want Von Miller as a Bronco, but it ain't going to be the same like Champ Bailey was his entire career in Denver, almost his entire career in Denver. Okay. He's not going to finish his career as a Denver Bronco. Not
Well,
in this today.
what's going
Not
to
in
happen
today's
is
NFL.
what's going to happen is when Von Miller goes, the hate. There's going to be the hate from the Feel Good fans. It'll all be his fault. It wasn't John Elway and wasn't it was all him. It's all going to be his fault.
Absolutely.
But I will tell you right now where STR is going to be wrong, and all the Feel Good fans who think otherwise are going to be wrong. There's this thing being put out that, well, the GM will have to decide if he wants Fangio.
Oh, my God.
If you're that stupid, honestly, I'm trying to say this is the best I can say it is if you're honestly that stupid, you don't understand what's going on here. You hadn't watched this channel long enough to understand that Elway could not fire Fangio because promises that were made. You will be the defensive coordinator. I will be the head coach. I will be the GM. I will be in charge of the whole offensive side of the ball. I just need you to be Wade Phillips. If you haven't got that through your head yet, there is going to be no firing of Fangio. So get that little thought. But Fangio will be set up for the next year that they can get rid of him with no problem. Everything was him. Wasn't me. I wiped my hands from all this. I didn't have anything to do with anything. That's if they do where we think they're going. If there's any,
I think that's where they're going.
And everybody in the National pointed that out. That's what's going on here. That's why the Broncos don't have very many interviews. Everybody else, except for Jacksonville and the Denver Broncos, yes.
6.
Yes. And they're really not that great. Just
I mean, okay. I want to actually bring this up to you real quick because I thought about this last night while I was listening to. I was re-listening to that link I sent you about that guy, and Pat Shurmur. I think that we have to bring this up. I think Pat Shurmur is going to have a lot to say too, because Pat Shurmur seems like an Elway type guy, and he's a yes man too. Shurmur is a yes man. And George Paton is apparently, according to Mike Kliss, Elway's go-to Twitter dude. He's saying that George Paton is the front runner. You know how George Paton got this interview?
How's that?
It's familiarity with Pat Shurmur.
No, didn't I say that there probably will bring a Pat Shurmur will bring somebody in? Now, isn't Payton from the Giants?
No, Payton's from the Vikings.
From that connection. There's also a Giants connection too. Yep. So, yeah, Payton. Yeah, are you thrilled about anybody from the Vikings coming over here?
No, because George Paton has been around the league for a very long time, and he hasn't got a GM interview yet until this year.
Hey, maybe they'll bring in Kirk Cousins. No, remember all the feel-good fans were all so high on Kirk Cousins.
The reason why I don't want any of the Vikings people in is because they overpay for players. Kirk Cousins, hey, did you hear about Kirk Cousins?
He fit right in here.
Oh, my God. I can only imagine that. But
well, Payton
I think Kelly's the front runner. I think Kelly is the...
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But I'm saying he has to be a front runner because they may lose Kelly to somebody else. I think they wanted to get Kelly and they wanted to work with Fangio, but even though you'd be working with Fangio, Kelly, if you get an offer anywhere else besides the Broncos, you take it. So who the hell would pick Payton other than the Broncos?
Detroit is interested.
Interested is one thing, but Detroit has many other candidates.
Exactly. I know. I'm just bringing that he's interviewing for that job too. I was just trying to bring up other connections that he has, but I think if Payton doesn't get hot, I think that honestly, I think that Payton's going to be your guy. And
You're putting your money on Payton. It could be.
I'm putting my money on Payton
Kelly,
right now.
like that was the one thing I thought. Well, if Kelly gets any offer anywhere else, he's not going to be here.
No, and he's starting to get offers somewhere else too. He's starting to get his seat starting to warm up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't. Maybe Jacksonville he would take here over Jacksonville, but
yeah. But when it comes to this whole thing, Elway's still going to be in charge. I've been saying this ever since that he apparently resigned as GM, which is a total joke in my opinion. But for STR, and I want to bring this up because we didn't bring this up in our last video to get together. How right after he resigned, they had this article of you sent me the link to it where it had right after he got the night after, oh bang, this list of the top 10 free agents that he brought in that he did by himself. Like what? Like dude, like what the fuck?
yeah.
Like, are you guys that stupid in the head?
Well, I think they've been called out though. I think there's been a number of actual fans that actually have their shit together.
Yes.
That called them out on that. The fact that, just getting, you can talk to Peyton Manning. John Elway can talk to him. He can bring Peyton Manning to the Denver facility. But there was no doubt that it was Pat Bowlen was over all the other teams was the deciding factor. Was Pat Bowlen. Okay? And that's probably why Pat Bowlen said, no, you are not going to bring Vance Joseph in. We're going to get Wade Phillips.
We're going to get a real defense coordinator.
To go into motion, and it all starts really with Pat Bowlen.
I think that DeMarcus Ware had a lot of say in that too.
Because Manning, though, they didn't come for Elway. They came once Bowlen got Manning to sign.
And DeMarcus Ware.
And DeMarcus Ware, everybody else started to come in.
I think that DeMarcus Ware had a lot of influence on the defensive side. And I think Manning had a lot of influence on the offensive side. And I think DeMarcus Ware.
I think you're right. Yes.
I think that DeMarcus Ware had a lot of influence on bringing in Wade Phillips because Wade Phillips was his head coach and defense coordinator when he was in Dallas. When he had his prime years. And he knew what he was capable of.
And let's remember, Elway didn't want that. He did not want that.
He wanted Vance Joseph. But yes, man.
So Marcus Ware probably wouldn't have got here if Pat Bowlen hadn't said, we'll get Wade Phillips. I know Wade. We'll talk. Elway didn't want anything to do with Wade Phillips. Exactly. So right there breaks all this delusion down that Elway brought all this, made it all happen. That's kind of the linchpin of that, uncorking that delusion.
Exactly. And to uncork that delusion, just to bring it up for a minute, now STR is saying that we should bring back Brian Sanders.
Yeah, I should do more research on Brian Sanders. Yeah, that was Adam
Peters,
right?
Adam Peters was the main guy behind all that.
So I don't think Elway's really. He maybe only got a couple thousand views or whatever. It was enough, I think, to really put an exclamation point into this whole disaster that we're experiencing.
Yeah, this is a clown show. This is what the Browns were. This is what Jacksonville is. This is what the New York Giants are now. The Jets. We're in that category, and the Giants and Broncos shouldn't be in that category. I'm just letting you know that right now.
I'll be honest with you. I think we're in worse shape than Snyder's Redskins. To be honest,
I don't disagree with you because they actually went after defensive linemen and offensive linemen, and look how good both of the sides are. So you got Chase Young.
They finally started learning.
Yeah, and I think that Ron Rivera is a damn good coach. And he decided to go there instead of Denver. I love Ron Rivera. I love Ron Rivera. I think he's one hell of a coach.
I'm still beside my. I still can't figure out how Elway made. Like I said, their promises had to be made to get somebody like Fangio to come over here. Promises had to be made.
And stop saying that the Shurmur hire was Fangio's hire, please.
Well, you're going to hear that. This is what you're going to hear from now on. Whoever they bring in, the guy from the Vikings, whatever. It was all him. It was all. Elway had nothing to do with this. That's what STR is there for, is to sell the facade.
And this is what we are here for. We're here to give you no bullshit analysis, and this is going to be no bullshit right here. This team is going to be sold in a year or two. So you got to Denver Bronco STR field. I think what STR is doing right now, I think they're scared shitless because they know that this team's going to be sold, and they're not going to have the luxury of what John Elway did for them, having their suites in the stadium and all that shit.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a new owner in town. And I really do believe, and this is what I believe in my heart, that I really do think that this team is still – I think that they're going to get a solid owner. I really do. Because I think Denver is one of those places where they're going to go back and look at the history instead of this current history, and they're going to realize who damaged this team more than anything else, and that was everybody's poster boy, John Elway.
And the trust.
And the trust.
And
I think that
your own favorite guy, Ellis.
Yeah, I love Ellis so much. He's such a good – he's a beast. But I think that you're going to get an owner. I think you're going to get a real good owner. I really do believe that because I still think Denver, from a standpoint of a franchise, is still a franchise where there's going to be owners that want this team. And I just hope we get the right owner because I think Roger Goodell still respects his team because of Pat Bowlen.
Well, what worries is somehow John Elway will be involved in that.
I don't think he will.
I don't know. I'm worried that somehow he will meddle into that. And Joe
Ellis. Go ahead.
Well, one thing is, Peyton Manning and his little group, his posse, I don't think they're going to have anything to do with Elway.
No.
So if Elway brings somebody in, he's going to be Elway friendly. Okay. Elway does have his connections,
But that can only take you so far. I think Roger Goodell is going to have a lot of say in this because I think that he wants to return Denver to the glory days of Pat Bowlen because how he respected Pat Bowlen.
That cuts Elway completely out of anything other than a photo op, a handshake. Thank you for, the Super Bowls, and thank you for, everything you did as a GM, all that stuff. Thank you, but you were not touch this team with a 10-foot pole. Thank you. That's all that ever comes out of it.
I think what you're going to see is I think that Roger Goodell still respects his team enough that because of Pat Bowlen, that he wants this team back on the map. Because of Pat Bowlen. Roger Goodell, and people don't understand this, he had a lot of respect for Pat Bowlen, and all the other 31 owners did too. Okay? I think that there's going to be, John Elway, Joe Ellis and John Elway know they're in trouble. And they both have 1 year left on their contracts. And Elway, get the fuck out of this fucking organization, please, because you have ruined this franchise to the point where it's unwatchable.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be, I believe, a train wreck in slow motion, this whole GM experiment. Oh, I'm not interfering. Yeah.
I think that train wreck has already started. I think this train wreck has already been done.
It's already a shit show.
It's already a shit show because six interviews? Really? 6? Detroit's getting like 10 to 12 interviews. Carolina's getting 10 to 12. We can only get 6?
I'm just saying.
This team is a fucking joke.
You can't put you spin that any way you want, but obviously the candidates aren't coming here.
Oh, hell no. Adam Peters doesn't want to come here. Your guy doesn't want to come here. Just the list goes on and on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. I just had to throw that out, and it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out. And like, like I said, you don't hear sports talk radio talking about cleaning house, really.
No, because they're bought out by Elway.
Yeah, because exactly. They just want to keep the Elway mess going again.
I think there's going to be a decision next week. I think how short the candidates are, I think they're going to be one of the first places to name a GM because how short their interview list is. So I think it'll be the beginning of next week or the middle of next week.
Yeah, the few guys that are, please, get in here.
Yeah, listen to Elway. Say yes to Elway. Say yes to keeping Justin Simmons. Pay him top 5 money. Say yes to keeping Jarrell Casey. Say yes to keeping AJ Boye. Say yes to that, please.
Yeah, we'll know that. We'll know exactly where all this stands.
If they keep either one of those two players, I'm not taking that GM serious.
Well, I'm not taking it serious now. I'm not taking it
Why
serious
would you?
Based on everything I'm seeing. I'm seeing
and
too much.
Weren't we the first channel to bring this up?
We're the only channel. Only.
And we have Cody Rourke and STR calling us out because they know they're afraid of us.
I don't know. I don't pay attention enough to them to know anything. But this what I do know is that I'm watching STR scrambling, trying to say we're the truth. We're just listen.
Where'd they get that from?
I don't know. Think about that. Yeah. Well, we had a commenter said, "Well, you're the only channel that." And we get that a lot. Well, you're the only people that. Somebody's got to say
the truth.
Yeah. So maybe that's why that guy came out. Maybe people have balls, or we can give some people some balls to come out and tell it that was close to the Broncos. Tell it like it is.
Well, he was close enough to our point of view. I mean, he still said some things that were.
Well, we don't agree with. No.
Yeah, but he I liked his no bullshit attitude.
Yeah.
And he told it like it is.
Now that's what we need.
And that's what we need more
people. I don't
people
need everybody
like
to agree with us. We just need, so a little bit of honesty here.
Exactly. No bullshit.
No pretend honesty.
Yeah, like how this team is
D-Mac's moment of D-Mac's moment of truth,
The illegitimate D-Mac who was named by Tom Nalen, who left that program. Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, he left too.
And so did I forgot his name, but anyway, James Merrillat, you're 10-6 in playoffs ain't gonna work, buddy. Sorry. Get that through your freaking vegan head.
Yeah, 10. That's what they're pushing. That was part of D-Mac's moment of truth. We could be 11-5. It could happen. That's a truth. It's a truth. It's not a truth until it happens, buddy. It could happen in the year 2155. When Captain Kirk takes takes command of the Enterprise.
Oh God.
Yeah, it could happen.
God.
Football's long and forgotten.
I think this is going to be a very interesting offseason. I think this is going to be a clown offseason. I think it's going to be more clownish than it was last year.
Well, here's my bold prediction. So they'll bring in some guy, and what you'll see more of the same, and you'll have STR completely going off the rails, online platforms going completely off the rails, saying that, this is the change. Look at how different all this is. When you're looking at it, it looks more of the same. That's my prediction.
It's the same old bullshit.
Same old bullshit.
And we're gonna be the we're gonna be the people that are gonna go through this offseason. We're gonna name off players that me and you would like to get that will never come here.
They'll never know.
We're gonna be I think that whole Bills breakdown. I think if me and you break that down together, I think that it'll help understand. It'll help people understand where our point of views are coming from.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. So.
Yeah, we'll do that, at some time here soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. Like, I think you're right. I think they'll name some poor schmuck to take the heat.
Oh yeah, and that's why Elway's shield himself more now. So
I wonder what Kubiak. Does Kubiak still with the Vikings, right?
no, he retired.
Oh, he is retired. Okay, I was going to say, wonder what his parting words are going to be.
Oh God, I can only imagine that. Whew.
So
I don't think him and Elway get along anymore.
what? Manning, I don't think, and Elway really get along anymore.
Oh no, they never got along.
Well,
They
and I
never
think
got
Elway
along.
and Bolin were starting to have. Well, we know that Shanahan won't have nothing to do with Elway.
Yeah. Can we
But
say that? Stop it.
I think if you really were to look into it, I think that had Pat Bolin not been an Alzheimer's victim, I think when he still had some mental capacity, he was already butting heads with Elway then. But now because this guy's dead and buried, Elway gets to like walk off on the coattails of everybody else. Oh, it was all me. It was all me.
And just piss on Pat Bolin.
Yeah. So
like STR and Feel Good never like to bring up. Just makes me sick.
Well, no, yeah, there was no Pat Bolin to them.
Because they weren't.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Hang up on you now. Like your time's ended. So
Don't talk about Bolin and Elliott. No. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on this. Thanks for let's giving us a little update here.
Yeah, for sure. I'll talk to you. We'll continue to text back and forth and see where this GM clown show goes.
See where the clown show takes us next.
All righty. You have a good weekend.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye.